Good afternoon, ladies and gents. Welcome to Crypto Chat UK. At last, I have sorted my technical problems out. At least I hope I have. I've got all the screens fixed. I think I've got my sound fixed. I hope it all works out good today. Now, I'm in the studio. There is loads of stuff I want to go through. But today, right now, I want to concentrate on two things, really. An article by Peter Brandt. If you don't know who Peter Brandt is, he's a guy who was investing in all sorts of markets, but in general markets from the 70s. I think it was the mid-70s, so a good 3 or 4 decades now. And he's proved, you know, how well off you can make yourself and what a living you can make off it. He's pretty well off financially. He doesn't have anything to worry about there. But I want to go through that article there, and we'll briefly look at the growth we've had, because we have had some really good growth recently. Obviously, we're not at the prices we want them to be back at yet, but this market is looking really healthy. And, you know, there may be some pullbacks coming. But we'll have a quick look at CoinMarketCap, and we'll just briefly go through that as well. But I want to show you this article because it's really important to listen to people like this who are professionals. They're not just like little pundits or people who've just got a little interest in. These people know what they're talking about. So here's one of them. This is Peter Brandt. If you do want to look him up. He's all over YouTube and the internet anyway, and he is very experienced. So Peter Brandt, Bitcoin price could be entering a new parabolic advance. Okay, so if we have a look down here, it says a rundown. The guy who wrote the book, Bitcoin price, it's all in the charts. It's been a long time coming. Okay, veteran trader Peter Brandt, who called Bitcoin's 20k top. So he basically predicted that Bitcoin will come to the 20k and that'll be the top for a bit. Says it wouldn't surprise him if Bitcoin price enters a new parabolic phase. The guy who wrote the book, when the guy who wrote the book and the sequel on commodity trading with classic chart patterns speaks, you listen. If that's the same guy who called the end of Bitcoin's last parabolic advance at 20k, predicting an 80% decline to under 4,000. You listen extra hard. Now, he predicted that it would go 20k. He also predicted, by reading the markets themselves, that it would make a drop of 80% and decline onto under $4,000. Now, I'm presuming, I don't know if it says it in this article because I've got loads to read on it. Presuming he did invest in hard when it went down to, I think, 3132. I'm sure he would have spotted the bottom or was near, damn it. He says, well, pin back your ears because Peter Brandt has something to say. Or rather tweet, because you know nobody says anything anymore. Bitcoin price, it's all in the charts. Now this is it, it's what we talk about. We talk about charts and maths and how maths don't lie. Now, I've mentioned the maths when it comes to cryptocurrencies in particular, but you can apply it to anything. You can apply it to almost anything. But in particular, markets, whether it's cryptocurrency market, whether it's NASDAQ, whether it's the London Stock Exchange, you can apply all these kind of principles to them. Brandt suggests that the current chart is a rough analogue of the double bottom in 2015. This bottom followed the crash from Bitcoin's previous parabolic move, which peaked in late 2013. Now, I think that's the one where it took about 18 months, 2 years. Took about approximately, I think I've done a video on that as well. There is a chart, shows you that, but you want to look into that, you can look into that a little bit more. He says, with this in mind, Brandt believes that either from the December 2018 low of 3,130 or a retest of this value, Bitcoin could well be entering a new parabolic phase, which would be nice. Yeah, it'd be nice for all of us, of course. In the comments of his tweet, someone asked if Brandt had seen the parabolic analyst of Bitcoin's own market analyst, Philby. However, he replied that he preferred to keep his opinion pure. Okay, that's the tweet there where you got asked that question. It's been a long time coming. The return to a parabolic advancing phase for Bitcoin price has been predicted ever since the last one finished. In fact, looking back to that time gives a very interesting perspective. Bitcoinist was referencing a market watch source known as Philby. I think that's how you say that anyway. Described at the time by fellow analyst Parabolic Trav as very accurate. No wonder we hunted him down and now keep him safely in a box, only get him out periodic for Bitcoin TA, for technical analyst. Okay, and what was Peter Brandt saying at the time? So, the violation of parabolic advance could produce 12 to 24 MOS of chop before new advance gains traction. 13 months of mainly downward chop later, and according to Brandt, the new advance could be starting to gain traction. I wouldn't bet against it. Now, we said this because obviously we've had a really low stage, a drop in the market, a crash if you want to call it, which happens. We talk about it being cyclical. We talk about various things for growth as well. When we get these big spurs, we talk about all sorts of reasons for it. Okay, whether we talked about adoption rates, we talked about whales going in, we talked about whales pulling out when it goes down. There is all sorts of reasons, and no doubt there is more than one reason for our ups and downs. Of course, with cryptocurrencies at the moment being so new still, they are volatile, which is where you can make a lot of the money. If you're doing it for pure speculation or even trading, then, which is the same thing almost, then basically you can make a lot of money with the volatility of it. Long term, I've always said, well, it's going to be used, but they're talking about this period of time where we've had this, they call it the bear market period. 13 months isn't a long time really in something like that, particularly with cryptocurrencies. If Bitcoin does indeed enter a new parabolic advance, then the chart suggests that a price of $100,000 could well be in play. I've always said, and you look back through my videos, $100,000 for Bitcoin, to be honest, at one point or another, is easy. It's easily going to hit 100,000 as far as I'm concerned. I can't see a problem. I don't go around predicting when. I do look and analyse a lot of this stuff, and we do have kind of dates where I think, yes, more than likely it'll make it by then and more. But I don't bother with the dates and start talking about them, because you never know what could affect the market in different ways, including when it comes to the domestic market or the retail market. Emotions being involved a lot more. Rather than actually looking at the maths and analysing the data, a lot of people work on the emotional side of it, which is all part of what you've got to look into when it comes to speculating on markets. So they're saying it could easily, they're saying the chart suggests that the price of $100,000 could well be in play. Will Bitcoin price go on another parabolic run similar to the one in 2017? And they say share your thoughts below. Now, I haven't shared any thoughts on this, but Peter Brandt is very well respected in the markets. Okay, he's very well respected, and he does know what he's talking about. Now, you look at various people on there. Now, I've had some people on one of my videos arguing the case that, oh, people are trying to flog this cryptocurrency malarkey and Bitcoin and all this, like, it's dead, it's all over. Nothing could be further from the truth. This is very small-minded, very asinine attitude, and it is just ridiculous, bold statements that really people need to look at the market better and grow up a little bit when it comes to it. You need to think about it, analyze it. Don't forget, guys, if you're new to the market or old to the market, come and ask me the questions. Come and test me my knowledge. Come and test my knowledge on this market. If I've got any gaps, you come and find them. But at the end of the day, this market, yes, I am no financial advisor and I don't pretend to be, but this market is going nowhere but eventually upwards to a huge degree. This at the moment is very, very small and is only going to grow. Okay, we've had a massive correction, whatever you want to call it, over the last 12 to 18 months. Perfect time to accumulate more. I just wish I hadn't broke my leg last year, because I had quite a bit of time off work. Broke my leg last year. I wish I had more free cash to continue investing in a bigger way. I do keep accumulating slowly, but I wish I had more cash. For the speculative side, I really do wish I had more cash. Now, this is how the market's looking at the moment. So we've got a market cap of 180 billion approximately, 24 volume, 61 billion. Bitcoin dominates on 50%. Now, if you look at Bitcoin, we've had this big growth. If you look at the cryptocurrencies in general, most, not all, but near enough all, have had a lot of growth. And you see it had like a little bit of support, so you would expect this. It looked like it was overbought. So if you look at the RSI, it was definitely bought. Yep, overbought. Okay, so it's probably obviously not the time to buy at this point. So obviously you'd love to buy down here, wouldn't you, on any of them? But we've had some massive growth, and then it adds a little bit of a pullback, as you can see, some more than others, but pretty much a pattern that's copied across a lot of the top cryptocurrencies. And then it had a lot of sideways movement. Now, I don't go around speculating. I've got my thoughts on why you get these spurts of growth, why these things happen. There's loads of reasons, including that the market is definitely undervalued. You'll get these points where any market, but in particular cryptocurrencies, where they're overbought and oversold. Okay, now when they're oversold, you want to buy in. Of course, if you're going to day trade, when they're overbought, that's when you want to basically sell. You want to do the opposite. But there's lots of different things to do with it, different ways to look at the market, and different ways to do. Now, obviously, as I've always said, I am a long-term investor. Also, I do like the idea of one of these, in particular Bitcoin. Doesn't have to be Bitcoin for me, but becoming a general day-to-day currency. Okay, I love the idea of Bitcoin being an investment where you can store it, a store of value. You can store your money, the deflationary aspect of it, and I would love something. It doesn't have to be Litecoin. It can be XRP, whatever. So a daily transactional, things from a coffee, my sandwich, my breakfast, a tie, a shirt, whatever. I like the idea. I want that to happen at some point, and I will embrace that fully. Okay, I do use it through cards and stuff, which I've discussed before, but I'd just love it to be now direct, working it out, and all the merchants jump on board. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, if you look at the market itself, I mean, if we just take a look at Bitcoin, let's just take a look at Bitcoin. I mean, the growth that has occurred here has been phenomenal. Now, have we hit our lowest point? I cannot see it ever going below 3,100 again. I think the bottom of just over 3,100, which is talked about in the Peter Brandt article as well. I cannot see that going below ever again 3,100. Now, if we look at this, if we look at the last month, to be honest, but we can have a look at the last week. But if you look at the last month, I mean, if we look at the last 7 days, to be fair, let's just check that out. We look at the last 7 days, and this is where it was 4,100 or thereabouts, and it had a huge amount of upward movement, went above 5k at some point here, and then had a little bit of drop, and this is where we had a slight pullback. I say it's not really a pullback, to be fair. Well, you know, $300 as it is there, and we had sideways movement, and we've had a little bit of up and down here. Of course, the general, usual, basic stuff. Okay, now it's currently at 5,146. Now, I think this seems to be pretty supported, so I'm not going to go through the analysing of it too much. Try not to do that, but it definitely looks like it's pretty much supported. So we have got some levels to break through. We have got supporting levels. There is loads of information out there about that, okay? Loads of information. But if you look at these top cryptocurrencies, these fundamental cryptocurrencies, what I call the fundamental ones, okay, which is Bitcoin, XRP, Litecoin, that ones like that, even Ethereum, you know, with smart contracts and so forth, these are just going really well. And this is where, even if last week you'd have got in at that point, you was getting in at a perfect time for that growth. Now, I'm really liking a look at my portfolio at the moment. Yes, I would like it to look even better because I did buy some at the higher prices a year ago. So I would like it to go up some more, but I'm making some good gains on XRP, on Bitcoin, and on Litecoin. Now, we were talking about Litecoin hitting $1,000 mark at some point. Okay, now that's going to happen. Of course it is. That's going to happen, I reckon. I'm pretty confident in it. When, who knows? Now, I'm going to do a video about the this is something that'll help with Bitcoin's growth and Litecoin's growth. I'm going to do a video talking about their halving. So their rewards to the miners are going to be halved in I think it's in a little time, but I'm going to do a video on that as well. So that'll be coming out very soon, and we're going to discuss that. Now, if you don't know anything about the rewards for miners and how that works, it is worth looking into. If you ever want me to cover that, let me know. I can. It is definitely some of the technical info that's great to know. Okay, some of the stuff in the background that is great to know about the way it all works. But guys, I hope this has been some good info for you. Please let me know if you like it. Hit the like button, of course, and definitely subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, don't forget to share this video. And I will be back on soon. Next ones for me will be discussing the halving and something about the market itself, the growth since the beginning of some of these cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, how much growth you've had since then. Just a brief look at that as well. But I will be speaking to you soon, guys, so take it easy. Bye-bye for now.